I want to give this whole story, like from start to finish, its own opportunity. So let's talk about what's going on in media, and then we'll make our way to the full story of what's going on with J6 and everything. We have this tweet from Michael Malice. Check this out, because we're just talking about Facebook censorship. So in light of that, we have Michael Malice tweeting, Spotify has deleted 2 of my Joe Rogan appearances. Michael, did Spotify delete it? Did Joe delete it? We don't know. He says both of the episodes are pre-COVID. This website checks for you. So if you head over to jremissing.com, you can see right at the top, Gad Sad, gone. Mike Ward and Pentelis, gone. Michael Malice, Kyle Kalinske, Tom Segura, Michael Malice, Theo Vaughn, Peter Holmes. Wherever it says new, there are 71 episodes that have been removed. TJ Kirk, Aubrey Marcus.
Was the Theo Vaughn one recent?
The Theo Vaughn is not. No, I don't think so. It's 9/25.
There were 2.
So
then there is a more recent one from 11/41 actually. Yeah, so he had a recent one pulled too. Well, it was about a year
relatively
ago.
recent. Yeah. Like Gad Sad was 240 episodes ago. So this is quite some time ago, like a year plus. But you can see all of these are removed on the 4th. Spotify has removed these episodes. I think it's fair to say, but the question is, why have they removed them? The point I was making about Michael Malice is, did Joe agree with these removals? Did he disagree with them? Why are they removed? And so far, 113 episodes have been taken down. Now, this is Joe Rogan's show. He can do whatever he wants with it, right? If he wants to take an episode down, fine. Here's the challenge. It's kind of strange that there's a website dedicated to tracking episodes of some dude's podcast. But the issue is, as I was talking about earlier, the whole world is just conflict. Everything, pop culture is conflict now. I just want to curl up on the couch, put on some, DC show or movie, watch Batman fight the Joker, have some pizza, and then wake up in the morning and go just walk around, maybe go to a restaurant, get some pancakes. But you can't do that anymore because you turn on the TV, everything's politics, everyone is politics, everything. So what's happening is Joe Rogan has become effectively, like the tip of the spear. One of the most important cultural information centers. And it's not about him telling you facts and stuff like that. It's about him having conversations that allow regular people to kind of understand the world. So when Spotify bends the knee, or Joe does, to the woke mob who won't let up, as I've already stated, when they announced the misinformation policy and they gave a grain of sand, they're continually giving ground to the left. The left will not stop. What happens next? The next day we get an announcement. Oh, this podcast is polling. Obama is saying he's not going to do anything anymore. They're angry. The Prince, who is it? Prince William and Megan, what's her face? They're like, we're not going to make a podcast either, even though they haven't. And I'm like, and then Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And I'm like, giving them what they ask for doesn't make them stop. Now Spotify has pulled 71 more episodes. Maybe it was Joe who pulled them. Regardless, it's not going to make them stop.
Yeah, you don't concede to the demands of delusional, idiotic, crazy people who just want to censor speech. And a lot of people don't just see this as a podcast. They see this as a last stand for free speech. And with these latest developments, I mean, this is troubling. This website was started because originally when Joe Rogan moved from YouTube to Spotify, there was allegedly an error that was happening with some of the more controversial videos and interviews that didn't port over. Joe Rogan made a statement about this, said that they would port over. They never did. There's this website. Now there's more videos that are gone, memory hold, and no longer in existence. And people are left with some very serious questions that I think we should have some answers to. Now, again, probably Joe Rogan is going through a tremendous amount of pressure. I could only imagine what he's going through behind the scenes of things that we don't even know. So what's really happening here, I don't know, but it's a troubling development, especially when 71 podcasts get
Why
nuked.
these episodes?
It's a bunch of his friends. I think it's because he doesn't want to implicate them in the drama.
No.
Because
Michael Malice has several appearances. I think he has 4. Only 2 get removed.
Yeah, but this is Ari Shaffir.
And hold on a minute. Yeah. If that were true, he didn't remove any of my episodes. Is he trying to get me in trouble?
You're not dramatic, Tim. You're so smooth and cool.
But I mean, it's a lot of episodes. It's 71. I honestly think that this woke mob has been satisfied with taking down 71 episodes. It's a lot.
I don't think
satisfied?
so. I think it's only the beginning.
No, I think
it's a taste of blood, and they want the whole enchilada.
He didn't take down Dr. Robert Malone. He took down Gad Sad and Michael Malice and Kyle Kalinske.
And
TJ Kirk.
Sam Tripoli, Brian Redbrand, Ari Shafir.
No,
I wonder if this has more to do with what Joe said on those shows as opposed to what the guests said.
Like
no,
locker
no,
talk.
definitely it is. And here's the thing. I was joking about that. The thing is that their target isn't Joe Rogan episode number 1000. It's Joe Rogan that they want to take out. Period. Right? And I mean, this is like, we're so behind the curve on this. Like, we've been screaming this, and I get why people don't like the Proud Boys. I completely understand, and I respect their decision not to like us. I get it. But once they took Alex down, then they took us down, right? And they took down everybody in between. They're just not going to stop. And I think we're getting to that point where they're banning the truckers on the other front. They're banning the truckers now. And before that, they banned Alex Jones, the Proud Boys, and everybody else in between. We're getting to the point where it's getting so extreme that there's conversions coming from this, because regular truckers probably aren't political. Now they're like, okay, they're against my people. Now I'm going to go to the Capitol.
I think I know what this is. When you go to jremissing.com, you can see a big portion of all the new ones. It's when you get to the top, they start spacing themselves out, like 963, 925. There's a big gap of almost 40 episodes there. Then 912, then 100 episodes, 810 to the next one, right?
Yeah, I know where you're
But
going
you
with
go
this.
down to the beginning, and it's like 4, 20, 21, 27, 40, 42, 48, 50, 55, 57, 66, 72.
Yep, that's back in the crude days when they'd
Back
just be
when
saying whatever.
Joe was saying whatever, saying like there's a compilation people have put out of him saying the N-word, not using it, saying it. There's compilations people have made of him saying offensive things. I wonder if these episodes getting pulled are because Joe himself had said things that crossed the line or are today no longer considered politically correct.
Yeah, but even deleting them brings more attention to these videos. Like I think he's smart enough to understand, unless this was Spotify that did this, but I think he's smart enough to understand that if you try to take something off of the internet and hide it from the general public, people are going to go crazy and then talk about it even more and obsess about it because of that aspect of getting rid of it. So everything's on the internet is almost permanent. Especially when you try to hide it and you have the Streisand effect take place.
But here's a consequence with that is from now on, it's getting watered down. And by the time that you know it, you're going to get a completely watered down JRE podcast that is like, you're not even going to recognize it anymore.
People mentioned this when the shift happened, when Joe first moved over to Spotify. There were some questions about whether or not he was going to be edgier or softer. And a lot of people thought he was going soft, because then he started doing these big celebrity interviews. He did, I think, he had like Miley Cyrus, and he had like Robert Downey Jr. But he had on Peter McCullough and Dr. Robert Malone. He's had on Alex Jones. I don't think he's gone soft at all. However, with this latest massive move, it's been a month-long campaign against him, and they now pull 71 episodes. When that shift happened from YouTube to Spotify, the official statement we got, I think what Joe said was that YouTube didn't archive a bunch of the shows properly and he couldn't download them. That happens. That's happened to us on several occasions. When you go into your YouTube manager, you can take a stream and click download, and for some reason, some of them you just can't do it. What you can do, though, is you can do a hard record. You can play the video and then just screen record the whole thing and capture it if you had to. And there's probably other programs you can get.
There's programs.
It's harder on live streams. You can't just use like the auto download video thing for some of them. But we were told they would get put back up. They never got put back up. This is different. This is a sustained campaign against Joe. And then on one day, on a Friday evening, all at the same time, 71 episodes, gone.
Yeah, I don't think they were expecting people to know which ones. Like you were saying, it comes out. If we hadn't done this and talked about it, is really subtle, real stealth the way they did it.
Well, when it first happened, and those episodes originally a couple months ago were taken over during the original transfer between between YouTube and Spotify, it was the most controversial episodes that were missing and accidentally not ported over, which left a lot of people asking some serious questions that, of course, weren't answered. We also have to understand this is on the heels of the U.S. government, the Biden administration putting pressure on Spotify, British royalty putting pressure on, of course, Spotify, the same British royalty that has connections and things with like individuals like Jeffrey Epstein and all these other individuals. So we're having a lot of very powerful institutions, whether BlackRock or Pfizer or the U.S. government or all these other big financial players and multinational corporations saying, stop exposing the agenda. Stop destroying the narrative. We need to have our way with the general public. You informing them, giving people informed consent, and having people think critically about what we're doing to them is not helping us. You better stop right now. And this is an effort of it being stopped.
Here's what I want to say, though. He didn't take Dr. Malone down. He didn't take McCullough down. I wonder if this might be Joe saying, okay, in these episodes, I may have crossed the line. If I take these ones down, it protects my ability to do shows in the future. Now, hold on. That being said, these videos, taking them down solves nothing. They still exist. They're all archived. When the first episodes got pulled, people in mass archived all of his shows. There's literally no point in pulling these videos down. The clips are already out there. The criticism is already out there. The shows have already existed for a decade. I don't see what the logical reason is for removing any of them.
I don't think Joe did this. I think he would be a lot smarter, because even if he did do what you explained, he would have done it in a transparent way where he would have made an announcement and said, hey, I need to be a better person or whatever, or address it. Yeah. Doing it on a Friday night, I think it could either be some rogue Spotify employees, because there was previous accusations of rogue Spotify employees leaking private information and, of course, having a vendetta against Joe Rogan. It could be Spotify crumbling. It could be Spotify sending a message. It could have been an error. Who knows? We don't know exactly what's happening here. We're just speculating, and it's important to understand that there has been a tremendous amount of pressure put on Joe Rogan, and he doesn't just represent a podcast. He's not just an MMA guy that likes to talk about chimpanzees. He represents critical thinking. He represents thought being expressed by questions, and for him to be taken down is crazy.
What a reality. What a timeline we're in. Coming off of the Donald Trump presidency, the leader of the free world, leading the charge on critical thinking, the guy from Fear Factor, Joe Rogan.
Live with Theo Vaughn.
who had a contest that made people drink special juices from horses for $50,000.
They said that comedians
Life
were
is
like
good, huh?
the truth tellers of our age, and I never really truly understood it until about 3 years ago.
Absolutely, Ian. Good point. Make that point again, because that's an important point that you just made there.
The comedians are the truth tellers of our age, and there have been, like, I think Voltaire said, if you're going to tell people the truth, make sure you make them laugh or they'll kill you. And, I mean, it's just so true.
Absolutely. That's a very good point you brought up.
Even powerful, militant, elite authoritarians want to laugh. They're human, and they love comedy.
I'm
Osama bin Laden played Final Fantasy VII.
I want to just we'll wrap this segment up with a couple points. I reached out to Joe, just yo, what up? He hasn't gotten back to me. He has no obligation to get back to me. I don't want to abuse the fact that I know him to get privy information like anything like that. If he can't talk about it, well, unfortunately then he can't. But I don't know. Maybe he'll message me back and say I was working out or something. So I will say. It's really, really good that his show exists. I mean, it's really, really important. The Malone episode is still up. The reason we're all like, yo, what's going on is because we recognize how important his show is. And it's worrying to see that episodes are getting pulled down. We need to be able to cut through the BS. Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Now, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. All of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website where we are unrestricted in what we talk about, so you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.